Hello everyone, watch this review here with a look at the Sentinel playset. That's right, he's not just a figure, he's a whole playset from the 90s X-Men series, which was kind of made in conjunction with, tie into the popular X-Men the Animated Series, which ran for a good 5 or 6 seasons, and, a lot of people still have very fond memories to this day. Now, the toy line was pretty cool for its day. The only real downside, of course, was the fact that, like half the figures that came out were just more costume variations for Wolverine, including this somewhat silly scuba suit from, I believe it was the Waterworks series. They also did a smaller Sentinel for that one. But because I can't find any of my other X-Men figures from that day, I'll be using him for display purposes with this, and the Robot Battler's Jubilee, because it's Jubilee, and she reflects one of the problems with the old line, where they just weren't giving us some characters who were prominent on the show in favor of more of the same characters. Of course, to this day, we're still waiting for a decent Jubilee figure. Now, this Sentinel is not as large as the Marvel Legends Sentinel, which came later, but it's still a good 13 to 14 inches, and I guess for the time was a kind of cool item. I mean, again, it was sort of more like a playset slash not as figure-y as the other figures. And that didn't really have as much articulation. It was mostly just a bunch of gimmick features, and it had a whole thing of stickers for it. I have misplaced the stickers in the box. I bought this, I think, a year or two ago. I do have the little instruction manual thingy here, so you can see what the labels and stickers would have looked like had I actually bothered to apply them. But again, stickers just always end up peeling off somehow, so I never see the point. Now, I've owned a few of these over the years, and there were actually 2 of them, I believe. They did a later one with a more show-accurate face, where it was a bit longer. It had some shadowing and stuff, I think. But let's get a closer look at the Sentinel here. This, of course, was, I guess, not entirely accurate to how they appeared on the 90s one, because the face was a bit different, but otherwise the colors and stuff were basically what you did see at the time. Back during the 90s, I really didn't like Sentinels. I mean, they didn't seem as cool as a lot of these super-powered supervillains, and in another sense, they're sort of like an overwhelming enemy where you can mass-produce these units and eventually they might overtake people. A lot of the reasons why I hated Sentinels then have now since caused me to like Sentinels, so it's just one of those crazy paradigms that sort of happens with age. But in terms of the action features here, the Sentinel has a rocket punch, just like in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and probably 3. And of course, X-Men Children of the Atom, where they originally got the sprite they would later use in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I mean, as you can see, it's actually got a pretty impressive ejection thing there. Can fire off a pretty far distance, even though I completely missed my target there. So I'll have to show off the second feature, the Grappler. Although Jubilee got captured a lot by Sentinels, or at least they were after her a lot, I will be grabbing the Wolverine because I think he's more in scale with this. So basically the little thing would pull out. I think I was supposed to actually turn a crank or something before I did that. Hope I didn't break it. And then it would just attach around the waist. Voila! Wolverine's been captured. At which point, if you're a kid, you just pop the chest plate. I think it's just pushed back in the head here. And then the plate pops open, and you would store the character inside the Sentinel. which is actually what happened to Jubilee in the second episode, I believe. Now, unfortunately, not all figures were a really good fit for this. I mean, as you can see, this Wolverine just does not want to be captured. Very much like the normal Wolverine. You know, not all figures will have worked for it, especially not these later ones like the Robot Battlers, where, you know, it's got this crazy position stuff, but actually I think I might be able to fit Jubilee in there. So yeah, Jubilee's been captured yet again. Now the other feature is these kicking legs. I believe it was more for just like a whole destroy effect, like they cut off the feet, now he's going to fall over, but push this button here, and you get another shooting action. It's one down, and then he falls. So I mean, all around a pretty neat item. But, you know, he's really more of a novelty item that you might get and you probably display for a little while. Maybe you'll even goof around with the little action features and stuff and have him punch its figures. But over time, you will end up putting him up on the shelf and he will gather dust. As you'll notice, I have a ton of dust all over this figure, and it's actually fallen off the shelf once or twice. But Sentinels are very durable. Not like the cartoon would have you believe. I think that's when I actually damaged the chest popping feature because it doesn't actually fit all the way in now. But yeah, this has been a look at the Sentinel from the 90s figure line of the X-Men. Yeah, until next time, folks.